We are so glad you are here at the college school. You know my name is Scott Hansen, and I always have to take this time to thank people. First of all, you, for allowing us to work with your kids in mass, on stage, here at the college school. The 4-5 play is the premier, the best example of hands-on experiential learning, and even throughout all of this almost year, we're still going. We're still going, and the 4-5 play continues. As they say, the show must go on. So as far as that goes, I just want to thank so many people. First of all of you, but second of all, the good teachers here. And I have to tell you, this year in particular, we really miss our parents and grandparents and friends that come in and do so much work. We teachers are really feeling it. But we've also felt your presence with us. Next, I'd like to thank you for allowing us to do this. And Carl Pandolfi, you'll hear his and the kids' music throughout this production. Mary Jo and Janelle will have sets and props that you're going to see behind this curtain. And then, of course, there's those wonderful costumes. All 47 kids have multiple costumes, and that's Mindy and Carol. And of course, Scott has a different take on the program this year. It's here. It's on video. So, on behalf of the college school and myself, you guys let me do what I love. Please enjoy our play. Thank you. And see you next year.
We're glad you're here.
This is a big event.
A favorite TCS tradition.
Every year for the past 40 years.
The college school community comes together.
2018 by the state review.
2019 was where the Wild Kids play.
Last year it featured Seed Folks.
And now, it's time for the TCS 2021 4-5 play. Fractured Fables.
You guys, this is kind of strange.
It is a little different, but it's still the 4-5 play.
This year we're online.
We're technologically advanced.
Ahead of the game, this is the future.
Yeah, and we're used to this stuff.
I guess that's right.
It's an adventure.
Yeah, TCS is all about adventures.
It's been a pretty big learning curve for everyone, especially our parents.
Give them a break.
That's right. They grew up once upon time.
Like some of the stories in this year's play.
Half of them are familiar.
But they have surprising twists and turns.
And the other stories are new and funny.
They're about who we are and how we change.
There are some scary parts.
What?
They're not that scary.
You don't freak out the audience.
They're about facing our fears and being courageous.
Oh, you're getting them ready for the first story.
The first story! I forgot. You're right.
That's right. This first story takes place at a time when lots of stories take place. This first story takes place
At Night in the Dark by Lemony Snicket.
was afraid of the dark.
The dark lived in the same house as Laszlo, a big place with a creaky roof,
Smooth, cold windows.
and several sets of stairs.
Sometimes the dark hid in the closet.
Sometimes the dark hid behind in the shower curtain.
But most of the time, it spent its time in the basement.
Laszlo would peek at the dark every morning.
Hi, Dark. Maybe if I visit the dark in the dark room, maybe the dark wouldn't visit my room. But one night, it did. The voice of the dark was as creaky as the roof of the house.
And as cold as the window. And even though the dark was right next to Laszlo,
The voice seemed far away.
what do you want?
I want to show you something.
There?
No.
There?
No. Downstairs.
Downstairs?
Yes.
In Laszlo's living room was the biggest window of the house.
Laszlo looked out at all the dark outside. Above him, the roof creaked. And he closed his eyes.
Now, the dark was all Laszlo could see.
No. Downstairs. In the basement? Yes. Laszlo never dared go to the dark's room at night. No, closer.
Said the dark.
Said the dark.
You might be afraid of the dark.
But the dark is not afraid of you.
That's why the dark is always nearby.
The dark peeks around the corner and waits behind the door.
And you can see the dark in the sky almost every night as you gaze up at the stars and as they gaze down at you.
Without a creaky roof, the rain would fall on your head.
And without a smooth, cold window, you would never see outside. Without a set of stairs, you would never be able to go down to the basement where the dark spends its time.
And without a closet, you don't know where to put your shoes.
And without a shower curtain, the water would spill all over the bathroom. And without the dark, everything would be light.
And you would never know when you needed
A light bulb.
Bottom drawer.
What?
Open the bottom drawer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
By the time Laszlo got back to bed, the dark was no longer in his room, except when he closed his eyes to go to sleep.
The next morning, Laszlo visited the dark in the basement.
Hi, Dark. The dark didn't answer, but the bottom drawer was still open.
So it looked like something in the corner was smiling.
The dark kept on living with Laszlo, but
It never bothered him again.
That wasn't scary at all.
It was a little scary.
No, it wasn't.
So you're just fine, no matter what. At all times, in all places, in the dark?
I love the dark. I wish I was the dark all the time. Really? I invented the dark. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it no matter what anyone else says.
You sound like Al.
Who?
Alexander T. Wolf.
The author of our next story. The true story of the Three Little Pigs.
story of the three little pigs. Or at least they think they do. But nobody's ever heard my side of the story. I'm Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Bunnies and sheep and pigs. Boo-hoo-hoo. It's just the way we are.
If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would think you're big and bad too.
But like I was saying, this whole big bad wolf thing, it's all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. Way back, once upon a time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear sweet granny's birthday. And I ran out of sugar. So I walked to my next door neighbor's house to ask for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built this whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in their right mind would build a house out of straw? So of course the moment I knocked on the door, it fell right in. What? I didn't just want to walk into someone else's house, so I called. Little pig, are you in? No answer. I was just about to go home without a cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. When my nose started to itch, I felt a sneeze coming on. I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed! Dead as the doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner just lying there in the middle of the straw. So I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger, just lying there. I was feeling a little bit better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to the next house. This was the first little pig's brother. He was a little bit smarter, but not by much. He built his whole house out of sticks. I rang the bell on the stick house. Nobody answered, so I called, Mr. Pig, are you in?
Go away, Wolf.
What?
You heard me.
But I'm your nice neighbor.
I don't care who you are, you can't come in.
Please let me come in.
I'm busy.
With what?
Shaving the hairs on my chin.
Shaving the what?
Just leave. I'm busy. Come back some other time.
Oh, please. I just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed.
And I sneezed a great sneeze!
And you're not going to believe it, but that whole darn house fell down. And right there in the middle of the straw was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. Now you know that if you leave food out, it'll spoil.
So I did the only thing there was to do.
I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold felt a little bit better. And I still didn't have my cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This was the first and second little pig's sister. She must have been the brains of the family.
She built her whole house out of bricks.
I knocked on the brick house. Nobody answered. So I called, Mrs. Pig, are you in?
And you know what that little porker answered?
Get out of here, Wolf!
white. She probably had a whole sack full of sugar.
Look at the sign.
What sign?
In the window.
What?
Read it!
No solicitations? Solicitations? What does that mean?
It means get out of here.
And she wouldn't even give me 1 cup of sugar for my dear, sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig! I was just about to go home and make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I
sneezed once again!
What? And then the 3rd little pig yelled,
And your old granny can sit on a pin.
Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fella, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. So, of course, when the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break down the little pig's door. And the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. And the rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the 2 pigs I had for dinner, and they figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed it up with all that huff and puff and blow your house down. And they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. I was framed. But maybe you could lend me a cup of sugar?
That's outside the story, and he's sticking to it.
If you believe him.
He was just hungry, and he likes pork. He's not that bad. Do you want to see bad?
Yeah. This next guy?
He's bad.
The Bad Seed by Jory John.
classes.
I finished everybody's sentences.
Once
Upon a time, there was a tiny snake.
Please let me tell my story.
Blah, blah, blah. And I never listened, and they lived happily ever after.
And I do lots of other bad things too. Know why?
Why?
Because I'm a bad seed.
A bad seed. I just can't help it.
Sure, I wasn't always this bad.
I was born a humble seed on a simple sunflower in an unremarkable field.
I had a big family. Seeds everywhere.
Yay!
We found ways of having fun. We were one big happy family.
One big happy family. We were close.
But then the petals dropped.
And our flower drew.
Oh no! From then on out, it's kind of a blur.
I remember a bad.
Everything went dark.
And then,
Then
A giant! I thought it was a goner,
I thought it was done for.
I screamed and I hollered.
but I was spit out at the last possible second.
Ah!
I flew through the air and landed under the bleachers with a huge thud.
When I woke, it was dark outside.
A wad of gum had softened my thought.
I felt okay, but something had changed in me.
I'd become a different seed entirely.
I'd become a bad seed.
A bad seed.
That's right, I stopped smiling.
I kept to myself. I drifted.
I was friend to nobody and bad to everybody.
I was lost on purpose.
I lived inside of a soda can.
I didn't care, and it suited me.
Until recently,
I've made a decision. I've decided I don't want to be bad anymore.
I'm ready to be happy.
it's hard to be good when you're used to being bad, but I'm trying. I'm taking it one day at a time.
Sure, I still forget to listen.
Hello? Sorry, I wasn't listening.
Whatever.
And I still show up late. Oh
Better late than never.
And I still talk during movies.
Be quiet!
I know what happens next.
Sorry.
no! But I also say,
Here you go. Thank you. I wonder where that was.
And I said please. Yes, you may.
and I smile.
And I hold doors open for people.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Not always. Sorry. But sometimes.
And even though I still feel bad, sometimes I feel kind of good. It's sort of a mix.
All I can do is keep trying.
And keep thinking.
Maybe I'm not such a bad seed after all.
Hey, look, there goes that bad seed.
Actually, he's not all that bad anymore.
Yeah, he's getting better.
I heard that.
See?
He changed.
And it got very scary for him.
Yeah, he thought he was going to die.
But he got spit out. That was my favorite part. I loved it when he exploded out of that guy's mouth and landed in the wad of gum. That was hilarious.
Speaking of explosions,
This next story is filled with surprises and it has explosions.
the three little wolves and the big bad pig.
The three
Once upon a time, there were three cuddly little wolves who lived with their mother.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
One day the mother said to the little wolves,
Fluffy, Shaggy, Hairy.
Yes, Mother.
My children, it's time to go out into the world.
Yes, Mother.
Go and build a house for yourself.
We love to build.
But beware of the big bad pig.
"Don't worry, Mother. We'll watch out for him, and we'll watch out for each other, too."
And they set out.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Goodbye, darlings. Always keep an eye out for me.
You know who! Don't worry, Mother.
Soon, they were met by a kangaroo who was hauling bricks.
A kangaroo!
Please give us some of your bricks. Our mother has said that it's time for us to go out into the world. We are to build a house for ourselves, but we are to
Beware of the big bad pig!
I'm not the big bad pig. I'm just a kangaroo, but certainly I'd be glad to help.
Yay!
And he gave them lots of red and yellow bricks and some advice. Your mother was right to keep an eye out for the big bad pig. I don't know what. He's one mean fellow. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of bricks.
The very next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road. Well, well, well. What do we have here?
Uh-oh! They ran inside the brick house and locked the door. The pig knocked on the door and grunted.
Little wolves, let me in.
No, no, no!
By the hair of our chinny chin chin, we will not let you in. Not for all the tea leaves in our teapot.
Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down.
Oh no!
So he huffed, and he puffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, but the house did not fall down.
But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing.
This ought to do the trick.
The three little wolves just managed to escape in the nick of time.
We shall have to build a stronger house!
They were very determined.
At that moment, they saw a beaver mixing concrete.
That's the stuff strongest concrete in the land.
Please give us some of your concrete.
Our mother has said that it is time for us to go out into the world. We are to build a house for ourselves, but we are to
Beware of the big bad pig!
I'm not the big bad pig. I'm just a beaver, but certainly I'd be glad to help.
Yay!
He gave them buckets and buckets of concrete. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of concrete.
The very next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road.
Well, well, well. What do we have here? I just love a challenge.
Uh-oh! They ran inside the concrete house and locked the door. The pig knocked on the door and grunted.
Frightened little wolves, let me in.
No, no, no! By the hair of our chinny chin chins, we will not let you in. That's for all the tea leaves in our teapot.
Then I'll
duck carrying barbed wire, iron bars, armor plates, and heavy metal cabinet.
This is the strongest, most secure hardware ever.
Please give us some of your barbed wire, iron bars, armor plates, and heavy metal padlocks.
Our mother has said that it is time for us to go out into the world.
We are to build a house for ourselves. We are to
Beware of the big bad pig!
Boy, was our mom right.
The big bad pig just destroyed our concrete house. Certainly, I'd be glad to help. Yay! Give them plenty of barbed wire, iron bars, armor plates, and heavy metal padlocks.
You are a kind and generous rhinoceros.
It looks to me like you little fellas need all the help you can get. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of barbed wire, iron bars, armor plates, and heavy metal padlocks.
This is the strongest,
Most secure house one could possibly imagine.
we are absolutely safe here.
But the very next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road as usual.
Well, these little wolves have outdone themselves.
Uh-oh! They ran inside the iron armor house and locked all 37 padlocks.
The pig dialed the video entrance phone and said,
Frightened little wolves with trembling shins, let me come in.
No!
By the hair of our chins,
We will not let you in.
not for all the tea leaves in our teapot.
Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down.
Oh
So he huffed, and he puffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, but the house did not fall down.
But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing.
Up, up, and away.
The three little wolves just managed to escape with their tails scorched.
Something must be wrong with our building materials.
We have to try something different. But what?
At that moment, they saw Flamingo pushing a wheelbarrow full of flowers.
Please give us some of your flowers.
Our mother has said.
I know. Everyone knows what you cute little wolves have been through.
So, can we have the flowers?
With pleasure.
Yay! So the three little wolves built themselves a house of flowers.
You should be able to make a delightful design with all these colors and textures.
One wall was daffodils, one was marigolds, the other was pink roses, and the other was cherry blossoms.
The ceiling was sunflowers, and the floor was a carpet of daisies.
It was a rather fragile house, and it swayed through the wind, but it was very beautiful.
The very next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road.
Oh my.
He rang the bluebell at the door and said,
Ding dong.
Frightened little wolves with trembling shins and scorched tails, let me come in.
No!
By the hair of our chins.
We will not let you in.
Not for all the tea leaves in our teapot.
Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down.
Oh
but as he took a deep breath, ready to huff and puff,
He smelled the soft scent of flowers.
and because the scent was so lovely, the pig took another breath, and another, and his heart grew tender and...
Oh, I realize how horrible I've been. Oh, little wolves, please forgive me. I promise to be a good pig.
And he sang and danced to tarantella.
I'm worried.
Do you think this is a trick?
I think that it's okay. I think that he's really changed.
That was explosive.
We told you.
The three little wolves were pretty cute.
Yeah, but the big bad pig, he was awesome.
Yeah, but he turned out to be a good egg.
Speaking of good eggs.
Next up is The Good Egg by Story John.
solid dozen. It's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah, you can't make people change.
But you can change if you want to.
Or if you're made to, like this next story.
The Fourth Little Pig by Teresa Celsi.
A long time ago, there were 3 little pigs. That's us! With homes made of brick and straw and twigs. A big bad wolf tried to catch them one day by huffing and puffing 2 houses away. Oh no! Pig 1 and Pig 2 then needed to flee, so they ran off to stay at the house of Pig 3. Yay! They bolted the windows and locked the front door. We won't go outside, they said. Not anymore. That's right. They stayed in that house at the top of the hill, and those 3 silly pigs would be hiding there still. If their sister, the bold and daring Pig 4, what? Hadn't stopped by to visit and knocked at their door. Go away, Wolf! Get away from our door! I'm your sister, Pig 4. The door opened a crack. Then it opened up wide. Get in! Said the boys. There were bad wolves outside. Oh, pooh! Said Pig 4. Yes, there are! Said her brothers. And they slammed the door tight. Keep still, said the brothers. Everyone hide! Why hide? Said their sister. You should all go outside. You can't spend your whole life sitting and shaking. There are places to see and things to be making. You could build a canoe or go and buy fudge. But despite her suggestions, the boys would not budge. Keep that door shut! The 3 brothers cried. We're safe in here, sister. We won't go outside. You're hopeless, their sister cried out with a frown. Then she huffed and she puffed and she blew the house down. If you wanna sing out, sing out. And if you wanna be free, be free. 'Cause there's a million things to be. You know that there are. And if you wanna live high, live high. And if you wanna live low, live low. 'Cause there's a million ways to go. You know that there are. You can do what you want. The opportunity's on. And if you find a new way, you can do it today. You can make it all true. And you can make it undo. You see? It's easy. You only need to know. As soon as the dust started to clear, Pig 4 said, "You see, there are no wolves out here." As the boys peeked over what was left of their wall, there are no wolves inside. There are no wolves at all. Hooray! How happy are we? For the wolves are all gone, and now we are free. We wolves spent our life sitting and shaking. There are places to see and things to be making. The boys got some fudge, then built a canoe, and climbed up a mountain, enjoying the view. And as for the
there.
She's exactly what they needed.
Yeah, like a good kick in the.
I think it's time for another story. The last story.
The Cool Bean by Jory John.
Watch out! What? Here come the cool beans. The cool beans. Oh yeah, check out how we move.
Wow.
Look at how we swagger.
Cool.
Notice our sunglasses?
Awesome.
The cool beans are known all over our school.
Yes. Across town.
Oh yeah.
Beyond county lines.
Way out there.
In the olden days,
Last year, we were all one big pot of beans.
we were a mixed bag.
Yes. But somehow it worked.
Yes.
Yep.
Those were the good old days. Yay!
Then we stopped seeing each other as much.
That's just how it is sometimes. We spend less time together.
Even though you're not totally sure why.
I watched the beans I knew so well. The beans from my own pod.
Became the cool beans.
Oh, they are.
So cool.
I can play guitar.
Cool.
I can draw the best superheroes.
Cool.
I can jump higher than all beans put together.
Cool.
Me?
Well, I mostly stayed the same. Sure, I made some small changes.
I wore sunglasses.
Too big. I slicked my hair back. Too slick. I strutted around. Ow.
I swaggered.
I was still picked. Me. Last for everything. I was an uncool bean for sure.
I started thinking of myself as just a common being with no special skills.
I couldn't. So I didn't even try. I would never be a cool bean.
It seemed like there were two types of beans in the world.
There were cool beans and beans like me.
The days blended together.
I lived my life and things were just okay. I took tests, ate lunches, and mostly kept to myself.
The cool beans continue being cool.
And I mean, sure, I miss them a bit, but I wasn't going to say anything.
I thought that all that coolness had gotten in the way of our friendship.
And that's how it went until one day I was in the cafeteria and dropped my lunch all over my loafers.
Ew.
And then something sort of miraculous happened. Out of nowhere, one of the cool beans came to my side and helped me clean it up. He didn't even say anything. He just gave me a nod. That was it.
Wow.
Later, I was out on the playground. I tripped, scraped my knee, and everyone saw it. But then another one of the cool beans came to my side and dusted me off.
Later that afternoon, I was sitting in class. I wasn't really paying attention. I hadn't noticed, but our teacher had called on me.
Better read from page 32.
Everybody stared. Nobody said anything. And then everybody just laughed.
Ha!
At me.
Ha!
But then one of the cool beans stood up and came to my side. She leaned in close and whispered, "Hey, the teacher asked you to read from page 32. Then she gave me a quick wink and went back to her seat.
Cool.
It was a small gesture, sure, but it was also
Everything.
really bad
if not for the kindness
of a few cool beans. It gave me confidence.
That confidence has continued to grow.
Somebody had my back, or a few somebodies. Throughout all of this, I realized it's not about how you look, or any of the other silly stuff.
It's about a wink, or a nod, or a smile at just the right moment.
It's about dusting somebody off, helping them up again,
And pointing them in the right direction.
You need a hand? Thank you.
Now that's cool.
The coolest of all cool things to do.
So look around and do what you love.
And when you see someone or something that needs help,
Just coolly step in and give them a hand.
If we shadows have offended,
think about this and all is mended.
That we have but slumbered here.
While these visions did appear,
give us your hands if we be friends.
And the 4 or 5 kids shall restore amends.
And now, our cast for the TCS 2021 4-5 Club. Fractured Fables.
The Dark.
Got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead,
The true story of the 3 little pigs.
you just remember what your old pal said. Me, you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me.
the bad seed.
The 3 little wolves and the big bad pig.
The Good Egg.
The 4th little pig.
The cool bean.
And our online narrators.
Thanks, and we'll see you all next year.